14 transformative changes of King Charles after Princess Diana's tragic death. King Charles' life took a drastic turn after Princess Diana's tragic death, one that shocked the world. But behind the grief and headlines, King Charles made a series of moves that not only reshaped his public image, but also transformed the monarchy itself. From subtle shifts in royal traditions to groundbreaking decisions that left many stunned, these changes hint at a deeper strategy. Was this all part of a long-term plan, or was it his way of navigating through personal loss and public scrutiny? In this video, we are uncovering 14 major transformations that King Charles made in the wake of Princess Diana's passing, some that completely redefined his role as the future monarch. From his approach to family to his public persona and even his relationship with Camilla, these moves are filled with hidden layers. Stick around, because what we uncover next will challenge everything you thought you knew about the British royal family. Number 1. Hands-on parenting. In the wake of Princess Diana's death, King Charles was forced to confront a role that had long been more Princess Diana's domain: hands-on parenting. Prior to the tragedy, King Charles had often been seen as more distant, occupied with royal duties, and less involved in the day-to-day lives of his sons, William and Harry. But after losing their mother, King Charles stepped in as a more present and nurturing father. He recognized the importance of filling the emotional void left by Princess Diana, ensuring his sons had the support they needed during such a turbulent time. There were moments previously unseen by the public where King Charles was reportedly far more involved in their personal lives, making decisions about their schooling and spending more private time with them than he'd ever done before. The public, in turn, began to see King Charles in a different light, not just as the heir to the throne, but as a father struggling to raise two boys in an unimaginable situation. This transition wasn't easy, but it was a necessary step in healing his family and showing that fatherhood was as important to him as his royal duties. Number 2. Public image shift. After Princess Diana's death, King Charles underwent a visible shift in how he presented himself to the world. Known for his reserved demeanor, he was often viewed as stoic, which left him open to criticism for appearing out of touch with the emotional nature of Princess Diana's legacy. But as grief overtook the royal family, King Charles began to show a more vulnerable side. He became more open about his emotions, showing the world that even royals are not immune to the pain of loss. This was a pivotal moment in reshaping his public image, as he worked to soften the perception that he was detached or indifferent. There were glimpses of him breaking down barriers, whether in public appearances or in carefully crafted speeches that touched on personal topics like family, grief, and the difficulty of moving forward. It wasn't just about repairing his own image. It was about showing the public that he, too, was deeply affected by Princess Diana's loss. The humanization of King Charles allowed people to see him as more than just a royal figure, but as a grieving husband and father. Number 3. Grief management. Managing his own grief while supporting William and Harry proved to be one of the most difficult challenges of King Charles' life. In a role so steeped in tradition, where the personal often takes a backseat to duty, King Charles had to balance mourning his ex-wife while facing the public scrutiny. For many, his grief wasn't simply a private matter. It became a national and global issue, with the world watching his every move. King Charles needed to strike the delicate balance of mourning as a father while maintaining the composure expected of a royal. This was no easy feat, especially as the media and public often cast a critical eye, questioning how he processed his grief and how he supported his sons through theirs. Behind the scenes, King Charles reportedly found solace in close family members and trusted friends, but the pressure was relentless. The way King Charles handled this unimaginable situation would set the tone for his evolving public persona, one that would show him as more emotionally attuned than ever before. Number 4. Relationship with the media. The relationship between King Charles and the media has always been complicated, but Princess Diana's death brought an entirely new level of complexity. The paparazzi had long been blamed for contributing to the pressures that plagued Princess Diana, and in the aftermath of her tragic passing, King Charles became even more cautious and strategic about how he interacted with the press. No longer could he afford to appear indifferent or overly controlled. He had to be deliberate in how he handled media narratives, both to protect his family and to safeguard the monarchy's image. This often meant walking a fine line, giving enough to satisfy public curiosity, but keeping enough private to shield his sons and himself from further emotional damage. King Charles began to take more calculated approaches, leaning into media strategies that allowed him to share parts of his life on his own terms, rather than through the invasive lens of the press. He learned from Princess Diana's tragic experience with the paparazzi, becoming much more guarded, but also more understanding of the power the media wielded. Number 5. Charitable focus. Princess Diana's commitment to charitable causes left an indelible mark on both the world and King Charles. In the years following her death, King Charles significantly increased his own charitable involvement, particularly in areas that Princess Diana had championed. Causes such as homelessness, HIV/AIDS awareness, and mental health, subjects Princess Diana had been passionate about, became a focal point for King Charles as well. It wasn't just about honoring her memory, though that played a part. It was also about recognizing the impact that these causes had on the public and continuing a legacy of compassion. King Charles used his platform to bring attention to these issues, making a more conscious effort to appear engaged and empathetic. Over time, his charitable efforts gained more visibility, and he became associated with meaningful contributions that mirrored the causes close to Princess Diana's heart. His dedication to philanthropy after her death helped solidify the idea that the royal family was not just a symbol of tradition, but could be a force for real social change. Number 6. Camilla's integration. Perhaps one of the most complicated aspects of King Charles' transformation after Princess Diana's death was his relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. Public opinion of Camilla was, to put it lightly, fraught with controversy. Following Princess Diana's passing, King Charles had to carefully manage the process of integrating Camilla into public life, knowing full well the sensitivity surrounding her. It was no easy task, given that many viewed Camilla as a symbol of the dissolution of King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. King Charles, however, remained committed to bringing Camilla into the fold, understanding that their relationship was essential to his own happiness. The challenge was to do this in a way that would not only gain public acceptance, but also maintain the dignity of the monarchy. Slowly but surely, through carefully orchestrated public appearances and softened media narrative, Camilla became a more accepted figure. This was a delicate and deliberate effort by King Charles to ensure that despite the shadow of Princess Diana's memory, his relationship with Camilla could exist in the public eye without overshadowing his royal. Number 7. Balancing tradition and modernity. In the years after Princess Diana's death, King Charles was faced with the daunting task of balancing royal traditions with the modern expectations of the public. Princess Diana had brought a breath of fresh air into the royal family, and after her passing, King Charles knew he couldn't simply revert to the old ways. He had to find a way to honor the traditions of the monarchy, while also showing that he understood the need for change. This balancing act became a hallmark of his public life. On one hand, King Charles respected the deep-rooted customs of the royal family, but on the other, he made efforts to modernize, whether through his more relatable public appearances or his evolving approach to issues like environmentalism and mental health. The public had changed, and so too had the role of the monarchy in their lives. King Charles' ability to navigate this new terrain would prove to be one of his most important contributions to the future of the crown. Number 8. Public speaking. Public speaking has never been King Charles' strong suit, but after Princess Diana's death, he made noticeable changes in how he addressed the public. The reserved, often formal figure that people had known for years began to open up, addressing personal matters in a way that had been previously unheard of for a royal. In his speeches, King Charles became more candid about his own grief, his struggles as a father, and the challenges of balancing personal and public life. This new approach allowed people to connect with him on a more emotional level, seeing him as more than just the heir to the throne. He began to speak more openly about his family, and even touch on topics that were once considered taboo for royals, like mental health and personal loss. This evolution in his public speaking helped redefine his image, making him appear more relatable and in touch with the experiences of ordinary people. Number 9. Royal duties. The loss of Princess Diana was not just a personal tragedy for King Charles. It was a moment that pushed him to take on more royal responsibilities. As the future king, it was always expected that he would step up, but the emotional weight of Princess Diana's passing accelerated that process. King Charles began to take on more duties, both within the UK and internationally, as he prepared for his eventual role as monarch. This wasn't just about being seen more often. It was about showing that he was ready to lead when the time came. His increased presence at public events, charitable functions, and international visits helped solidify his role as the next in line. The tragedy may have changed him on a personal level, but it also served as a catalyst for his professional evolution, making him more engaged and visible in his duties as a royal. Number 10. Family dynamics. Princess Diana's death brought not only grief, but also a renewed focus on family for King Charles. In the years that followed, he worked hard to repair and strengthen relationships within the royal family, particularly with his sons, William and Harry. There were reports of tension and distance between King Charles and his boys, but the shared experience of loss seemed to bring them closer together, at least for a time. King Charles also made efforts to improve his relationship with his parents, particularly the Queen, as he navigated the complexities of family dynamics in the public eye. The royal family is often portrayed as emotionally distant, but in the years after Princess Diana's death, King Charles made concerted efforts to show that family was a priority for him. This focus on family not only helped his personal healing, but also in reshaping the public's perception of the royal family as a more compassionate, emotionally connected institution. Number 11. Legacy management. Princess Diana's legacy loomed large over the royal family after her death, and King Charles was keenly aware of this. Managing how her memory was honored became a significant aspect of his life in the years that followed. He knew that Princess Diana would always hold a special place in the hearts of the public, and he made sure to acknowledge her contributions and her enduring popularity. This wasn't always easy, especially as his relationship with Camilla became more public. King Charles had to strike a careful balance between honoring Princess Diana's memory and moving forward with his own life. Over time, he found ways to celebrate her charitable work and keep her legacy alive, whether through his own initiatives or through the support of his sons, who carried on many of her causes. In doing so, King Charles managed to maintain a connection to Princess Diana's memory while carving out his own path as a future king. Number 12. Crisis management. One of the most important lessons King Charles learned in the aftermath of Princess Diana's death was how to manage crises. The royal family has faced its share of scandals and controversies before, but nothing compared to the fallout from Princess Diana's death. The public's reaction was intense, and King Charles had to navigate the complex emotions and expectations of both his family and the British people. Over time, he developed a steadier hand when it came to managing public relations crises, learning to anticipate issues before they escalated and to handle them with more tact. This skill would prove invaluable in the years to come, as the royal family faced new challenges and controversies. King Charles' ability to keep a level head in the face of adversity became one of his defining traits, helping him to emerge from the shadows of scandal and tragedy as a more resilient and capable leader. Number 13. Mental health awareness. Princess Diana was known for her openness about mental health, and after her death, King Charles took up the mantle. He became more vocal about mental health issues, particularly in relation to his own family's experiences. This was a significant shift for a royal figure, as mental health had long been a topic that was swept under the rug in royal circles. King Charles, however, understood the importance of addressing these issues head-on, not only for the benefit of his own family, but for the wider public as well. His support for mental health initiatives helped to destigmatize the topic and brought attention to the need for better mental health care. In doing so, King Charles honored Princess Diana's legacy of compassion and advocacy, while also forging his own path as a champion for mental health awareness. Number 14. Personal growth. Perhaps the most profound change that came after Princess Diana's death was King Charles' personal growth. The tragedy forced him to confront his own shortcomings, both as a public figure and as a father. In the years that followed, he made a conscious effort to work on himself, addressing the issues that had strained his relationship and hindered his ability to connect with the public. This journey of self-reflection wasn't easy, but it was necessary for him to grow into the role of a more compassionate, understanding leader. King Charles' personal growth is evident in the way he now approaches his duties, his family, and his public life. He's become a more well-rounded individual, someone who's learned from the past and is better prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. This personal evolution is perhaps the most lasting legacy of the years following Princess Diana's death, as it shaped King Charles into the man he is today. It's clear that her passing had a profound impact on him, not just as a father, but as a future king. But what do you think? Which of these changes do you believe had the biggest influence on the man and monarch we see today? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting video content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.